On behalf of TCS ION, I welcome you all to the talk show. To introduce myself, my name is Matilda. I have been working as a functional lead in manufacturing domain for around 7 years with overall experience of 18 years in various domains including BFSI, telecom and in varied roles. So now let's look at our topic. The Indian food industry is poised for huge growth, increasing its contribution to world food trade every year. In India, the food sector has emerged as a high growth and high profit sector due to its immense potential for value addition, particularly within the food processing industry. Accounting for about 32% of the country's total food market, the government of India has been instrumental in the growth and development of the food processing market industry. The government, through the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, is making all efforts to encourage investment in the business. It has approved proposals for joint ventures, foreign collaborations, industry license, and 100% export oriented units. In this session, we have invited experts to understand how to increase export in food and beverage industries. It's my pleasure and an honor to welcome and introduce our guest speaker. I welcome Julia Gangwani, Co-Director, JJ Enterprises. So let me introduce her. Julia Gangwani is Co-Director of JJ Enterprises, which is an outsourcing company into import, export, and investment dealing in agro products, pharma, mining, IT services, handicrafts, jewelry, precious and semi-precious stones, textiles, cosmetics, leather, energy, automobile, infrastructure. The focusing countries are Latin America and Caribbean and Africa. Julia has 15 years of experience in foreign trade. She is registered as Quality Merchandiser in Export Promotion Council of Handicrafts. She is one of the top 100 women entrepreneurs in Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Ladies Organization, and awarded by Nitin Gadkari. She is the representative of Peru Indian Chamber of Commerce and associated with Peruvian Business Network, serving as a Secretary General of INPEFA, which is Indo-Peruvian Friendship Association. She's an active Rotarian, promoting as program promoter of Shaksham Bharat under Rotary India Literary Mission, working closely with Blind Association Women, worked as diplomatic coordinator with International Solar Alliance. So it's an immense pleasure to have Julia in this talk show. So Julia, let's start with our questions to get your expert opinions. To start off, what are your views on the factors which are important for export in food and beverage industry that needs to be focused more?
Thank you, Matilda, and thank you very much, TCS team, for inviting me on such a, I would say, very important subject for after COVID. Food industry was as important pre-COVID. It's more important after COVID as well because of immune system. So I'm very happy to answer your question. So it's a wonderful question after COVID because I believe your questions will be based on post-COVID. And there's lots of need to improve. There are lots of factors in food and beverages industry post-COVID. Whether it's the quality, pricing, market, what import market is looking for products. So rather than I go for points wise, I'm going to explain you. We need to have a well-developed food quality and resourcing, marketing, product planning, strategic plan here for export, which is the more important for countries that are our major exporters like India. So there are some of the benefits to take care of these points I'm going to say in the point wise. Like we have to minimize impedance to trade by reducing the time for inspection, because when we produce the food and beverages, the maximum time and the money goes on the inspection and certification. We have to control that thing, minimize and even eliminate rejection or non-compliance at the point of import, avoid duplication of inspection, sampling, test at the exporting and importing ends, and lead to the usage of collecting resources more efficiently and effectively. Financially, the raw materials we purchase in food and beverage industry, that should be a financially more effective, because then we can have a final price to sell to our import country. Take care of the variation in quality due to the production by small farmers, fishermen, or enterprises. Help in building up the image of the country, because when we are sending goods from our country to other countries, at the same time we are selling the image of our country. So we have to be very particular in that aspect. That ensures the inferior quality products are not exported by those one night fly by night operators, because such problems can be minimized with the food safety management system. Enable official inspections or health certificates, which is required by the importing country at the time of receiving goods at the port. Helping team, the capacity building in a country, even government has to work in this aspect as well with respect to product as well as systems. Decisions on country's products that are exported are taken by the country itself rather than by the importing country, because it should not be like that. For example, I would say, if the product doesn't meet an importing country's requirement, exporters can, in consultation with the official certifying goods, send it to a third country rather than dumping in that country or not exporting or developing a special product for that country. So they have to keep a need and desire of that importing country. They have to work on a good R&D, what their country is looking for, and to export those goods accordingly, rather than wasting of money and time in those goods where requirements are not met and therefore need to be destroyed. Very important, when we are importing goods from our country to other country, we have to negotiate agreements. We have to sign MOU with the importing country, with the food control system by the importing country. Then we have to provide the protection to the consumers of the importing country, as the broad objective of the exporting country is to ensure that requirements of the importing country are met. Because before that, we do our export, 100% we are putting ourselves into a danger, in a fire. Facilitate implementation of various forms of voluntary certification, which address entire chain from farm to table, starting from the production of the particular product. That certification comes, what kind of chemical we are using, how it is growing. Each and every step we have to take care of once the final product comes on the table. This simplified as a major part of total chain. Namely, we call the processing is already covered, and only additional areas such as those at farm level need to be controlled and verified. So these are the main factors where we have to pay attention at the production of products, whether at the farmer level or at the factory.
Thank you, Julia, for giving a very brief insight on the important factors, definitely quality and inspection, and also putting it very rightly that we need to take care of our country image as part of the complete cycle. Now let's go to our next develop question. What do you think? What are the key challenges related to export in food and beverage industry?
The global economy faces challenge times ahead. Pre-COVID, we were already at the saturation point, and the post-COVID, we got our economic at more saturation point. So COVID-19 brought the world to an unexpected standstill. In the post-COVID, India needs to create its own niche in the global market. So with the rise in the use of digital technologies and artificial intelligence in several industries, so why we leave this food and beverage industry, necessitated by this industry, has come as a game changer. The move has accelerated the adoption of disruptive business models and innovative solutions, thus rendering traditional business models and manufacturing process obsolete sooner than expected. So every 10 years, we have a new change in every industry. So this time we got technology online. So it is essential to tap into the capabilities of Indian companies by plugging in the gaps of policies and infrastructure. There's post-COVID, all policies have changed. Verticals of each company has changed. It is also necessary that companies expand their focus towards improving R&D infrastructure with the view to create niche, because R&D plays an important role in selling the product, developing the product, and improving the quality of products to match up to the international countries. As India begins on its journey of self-reliance, we call Atmanirbhar, and expansion in these challenging times, the states need to take and efforts with the emerging trends of globalization. It's called technology, internet. In light of these trends, the need for export-led growth becomes more prevalent than ever, even for a country as large as India that possesses an expensive domestic market. High growth can only be sustained with an export-oriented policies issue and to adopt a new normal we call technology, internet. That's the need of an hour. Thank you, Matilda.
Thank you, Julia. You have very well put forth the challenges, and it definitely shows the readiness to survive, grow, expand, and definitely succeed. My next question is, what should be done for delivering the right product to the right market in most efficient way?
There is not a big grammar in behind this, because if you have a right product, right market in your hand, right price, what we have to just take care of adequate facilities, including equipment, transportation, and communication facilities. That should be available to ensure delivery of export inspection and the right kind of quality to the right market at right time. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for expressing in a very simple way the whole concept. Now, how product innovation, product renovation, automation of product processes is a key to increase the share in export businesses. And in current scenario, what is the most promising and innovative technology that can improve traceability in the export food industry?
Thank you, Matilda. It's a wonderful question at this challenging time. I love to answer that. And I start with, again, it's a challenging time. Internet is because we business people look for opportunity in every challenge. So this pandemic period has brought a lot of opportunity in new technology, right? We see many of our customers, we ourselves facing a challenging of growing their export businesses. So from understanding a new market to finding the critical financial support from the financial institution, the key is often thinking innovatively about the way we should increase our business. So here, very important role comes of innovation, renovation, and automation. So when we think of innovation, we often tend to imagine groundbreaking new inventions and revolutionary technologies. Yet most innovations are an evolution rather than a revolution. A change to your process, delivery model, or even your marketing can be just as effective as a new product in creating a lasting competitive advantage, increasing margin, and helping us unlock profitable new markets. I will just describe this innovations, renovations, and automotions in the following six different ways, which small medium enterprises exporters should adopt in expanding the growth of their food and beverages industry in global market. So first, we should pay attention to our products and service innovation. In adapting our products to the needs of an overseas market, as I mentioned above, if our product is not meant for the importing country as per their requirement, it's totally waste of time and money for exporting success. But exporting also provides an opportunity to capitalize on innovative product features with unique appeal offshore feature often seen as unimportant in the domestic market. Second is very important in getting a success in exporting of our food and beverage. That's called the delivery innovation, as you asked in the previous question. The delivery is very important. Right product, right time, right quality, right quantity. That means that makes the difference between success and failure as an exporter. If you have delivered the right thing at the right time, you're gonna have a repetitive order. Doesn't matter what the situation is there. And then we have business model innovation. New business models have the power to overturn established players and reshape entire industry. As we have seen in last 8 months, those who were working very successfully and they couldn't adopt the change, they had to shut down their shop. Those who have adopted this change, adopted this technology, this internet, they have changed the future for themselves and for the country. So it's very important to go with the time. Innovators have been said to have revolutionized their business categories and as a result have managed to build a global presence in a very short time by sidestepping traditional distribution channels. So adopting this technology, we all have become a very advanced minded people now. But sometimes the most effective business model innovation and refinements of existing strengths rather than revolutionary new methods of doing business. We should analyze our existing business model and identify the areas where we can add the most value for our customers. The next innovation comes in the process. Process innovation can yield immediate results by reducing our cost and improving customer service and speed to the market. We have to look for opportunity to automate and streamline their internal systems to increase efficiency and drive down the cost. For example, connecting an online ordering platform directly to the accounting, stock control, and other management systems can help to reduce data errors, cut administrative overheads, and speed up delivery. We are saving costs. It's fine. We are cutting the jobs, but we are increasing efficiency of each and every one and department. The next innovation, which plays an important role in exporting our products, that's called the marketing innovation. An essential element of an export success is the ability to adopt our marketing approach to appeal to customers in different locations and different parts of the world. The first step is to analyze the distinctive taste and buying behaviors of key customer segments in each destination, then adopt our brand and marketing accordingly. Digital platforms, which has become a necessity of an hour, also make it easier to gather insight into the behaviors of different market segments. We can go for a poll through digital. We can reach at this moment any corner of the world through this digitization. And very important innovation plays in entire successful export business is called the financing innovation. Without financing, no business can grow. So securing finance for new export initiative or existing export initiative is a key challenge for many SMEs, but innovative finance methods are becoming increasingly popular and creating new opportunity for Indian export businesses. Consider alternative funding sources that can help to build our global presence without sacrificing equity or control on the product. So I would suggest these few innovations and automation and revolutions are very important to enhance the export of food and beverage. Thank you, Matilda.
Thank you, Julia. Yes, you are very right. We have shown our excellence in surviving all situations, and the secret is innovation, the different processes involved. Business model innovation, adoption of technology, innovation, marketing innovation, financing innovation. You have briefed it very nicely.
Thank you.
Now, my next question is, what are the evaluation alternative tools that can be used for the betterment of export processes, mainly focusing on small and medium enterprise?
Thank you, Matilda. Again, very important question you have asked. Post-COVID, there are two things that's got to play very importantly. There's the technology, as I am mentioning in my each and every answer. Second is financial institutions. So now the global web base is becoming a booming everywhere. Millions of new buyers are logging on each year, but now it's a trend. If you want to sell your product, look for a good web portal, good for a good virtual platform to get your product displayed there. Electronic commerce is already in the market, but now it's a necessity, which reflects the growth. The internet global reach is a cost-effective means for marketing products and services overseas. Companies that establish a corporate website publicizing their products are able to create an electronic mechanism for safe and secure electronic transactions. Next, we must pay attention what kind of website, what kind of e-commerce we are looking for. It should be a transactional website, which can help to SME to save the cost and get the maximum benefit out of that. And what is this transactional website? It's maybe an electronic storefront for a brick and mortar retailer or a catalog business. Or it may be a showroom for a manufacturer wishing to sell directly to the public. But these kind of websites conduct full end-to-end transactions through the website, allowing customers to search for and pay for products online, place an order, take the samples, and contact the company directly. Now, another website one can think of that's called the informational website. This kind of a website generates sales by promoting corporate awareness rather than facilitating online transactions. That means you have to put your brochure. It works like a brochure that provides information about the products you have, kind of sizes of foods you have, what kind of beverages you have, and we give the exact detail and the contact information of the concerned person to the buyer can approach. And if we don't want to spend money on websites, we can approach straight away to e-marketplaces. These sites are market makers because they bring buyers and sellers together to facilitate transactions. Participate in a brokerage often provides an efficient way of finding a customer without the expense of building a proprietary transactional website. So here again, SME saving a lots of costs and directly in touch with the buyers. This kind of brokerages include auctions, virtual malls, and matching services. We call nowadays virtual buyer-seller meet. We can get registered with such kind of websites and avail such kind of opportunities. And not but the least in this, financial institutions, because exports and then financial institutions, customs are there. They have to work hand to hand. Tech system, we have to work hand to hand to make our country Atmanirbhar and make it more export oriented in food and beverages into immune and healthcare products. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Yeah, you put it very correctly. In current situations, you have suggested us many things: electronic commerce, informational website, e-marketplaces. Yes, these are the thoughts. Yes, we need to have it to survive and succeed in the situation. Now, yes, the current situation, yes, a very, very important question, which was unexpected. How to overcome the losses in export in food and beverage industry due to corona pandemic?
Thank you. I would summarize my entire question in this question then. Of course, to save the cost on unnecessary development of the product. First, we have to see who are our buyers, what's their requirements, and to look for the product on saving the cost. If we are developing the product, we have to keep the requirements of our buyers in our mind. Then we have to promote, I would say in short, we can say the promotion and market development, which is going to play an important role in this to overcome the losses in the exports in this industry. These activities need to be strengthened to create a market for the country's product. Export promotion needs to be given priority, and some schemes developed by MSMEs there, some governments are bringing, some food association or organizations are bringing us some very interesting schemes, because nowadays when we are exporting virtually, now the inspection at the importing country has become a virtually also, which is again not a good sign, which can give us a lot of rejection and the losses. To avoid all this, we have to pay attention on the market and promotion and the schemes which has been being offered by the government. These could be in terms of financial, technical assistance to exporting units by the government and financial institutions. We have to pay attention rather than exporting ourselves individually. We can join hands with the government agencies, with the trading agencies to share the burden. And when we are doing the promotion of our products on different virtual platforms, we have to make sure our logo and what exactly our company is doing is well displayed to our buyers. Campaigns, we can use that. We should participate as much as possible in virtual trade fairs internationally, which can be intensified. Buyer and seller meets, we have to join over virtual platforms. Last but not the least, again, I would say duty drawbacks, which is a backbone of every exporter. Then customs, financial institution, if we are going for a loan or the supporting or our letter of credit, they should support us open-heartedly so we can survive, we can work on this food and export business. Tax benefits, which is a backbone of the pillar of any business. If we are paying more tax, not running a good amount, so it won't be a win-win situation for exporters. So government has to draw such policies where exporter is gaining a benefit as well as country is getting a benefit in the form of tax. So I would like to summarize this question here. We have to pay lots of attention. What are the opportunities available virtually? We have to adopt that and try to reduce our cost as much as possible and reach as maximum as where we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. You have very nicely put up, the losses have occurred, but how to overcome the losses? Yes. Unnecessary development, virtual inspection is one area which you have to be concerned about. But, keeping an eye and ear open for the market, schemes offered by government. And yes, definitely you have put up very nicely, joining hand with government agencies. And the thought process, I like it, where you're trying to create a win-win situation for everybody. So it was very nice to hear you all. So thank you, Julia, for sharing your opinion with us. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you today.
Thank you.